Now, Cora actually writes in, her mom was selling her home. This is her mom's home. They had accepted an offer and were scheduled to close at the end of this month, November. But a couple of days ago, Cora's mom passed away.
Ooh.
And now no one in the family can find the will. So they're wondering how to handle this. And this also brings up a really good point for all of our listeners. But let's talk about this first. No will that can be found. Where would you go on this?
Where would you go to try to find one?
Well,
Or
no. And what would the
okay,
next
for
step
legal?
be? Yeah, what's the
Well,
next
you
step?
know, and we have the situation come up. Technically, it becomes part of the mother's estate. I'm assuming she was not married. Most couples take for survivorship.
Mm-hmm.
In which case you can go intestate and go to probate court and get a family member appointed to be the personal representative of the estate. Usually in that situation, you have to post a bond. I think the appeal period is 30 days. So say that Bob gets appointed, you still could not sign a deed for a period of 30 days to allow any party that may be aggrieved a chance to appeal. Um, that's why I would suggest sometimes in situations where you have an elderly person, what we'll do is we'll either set up a quick LLC, a quick trust, put the property in that just so this situation doesn't occur. And like I said, you can do it, but it's going to probably extend the closing date 60 to 90 days in order to get it closed. And these days with interest rates and what they're doing, if you delay, you may lose a rate
Mm-hmm.
lock. It gets very expensive. Then the question is, okay, if you have to pay $1,000 to extend the rate lock, should the buyer be responsible for that?
Yeah, or the seller.
Yeah. So I think we talked about before. It's really everybody needs to get a will.
And that's the point, right? Isn't
Yeah.
it? That's what we need to talk about more than anything else is take a lesson from this. Don't let your loved ones hang if something should happen to you. Make it kind of a holiday plan to talk to an attorney, right?
Well, and that's what you need. You need a will, you need a power of attorney, and then you need a living will, which is basically appointing someone to take care of your healthcare decisions. Uh, I can just say quickly, power of attorney. It's in the state statute. It's a state form you can download. You can download the living will. I don't suggest it, but you can go online and get a will downloaded for free. Uh, Anything's better than nothing, but it's best to have an attorney in that process. But this happens so often, Bob,
Yeah.
that it's amazing the percentage of people that don't have wills.
And Kevin, you can do this. You and the attorneys at Pitt and Frank can also help on this, correct?
Correct. And
Yep.
we have done it in situations where maybe a death is imminent. We will put together a quick trust and put the property in the trust just so that the transaction's not going to be held up.